Hey guys, Legendary Grimlock here, and welcome to one of the few remakes that we have on this channel. And Rayquaza vs. Ben 10 is one of them. Now, last time we left off here, or last time we did a video like this, I do believe Rayquaza won because Ben 10 was underscaled. Or at least at the time, I didn't know Ben 10 had anything, out of Versa level. However, he does have some metas for it, or at least some evidence for it. So with that being said here, yeah, let's really address this here. And Ben's other aliens really don't have a chance against someone like Rayquaza. Characters like Diamond Head, Heat Blast, Frankenstrike, Blitzwolf are way big. Gravitack, you have characters like Chroma Stone, who I actually think will probably get overloaded by his energies. Humongousaur, Big Chill, characters that can turn intangible, really don't mean anything because he's affecting abstract level beings. And even ghost types as well, which are naturally intangible, by the way. You even have characters like Pesky Dust, Gravitack, Gut Ride. All these aliens really don't mean anything. So even Clockwork, unfortunately, Clockwork is probably giving Rayquaza a little bit of difficulty, but nothing he can't overcome since he's fighting the Creation Trio. So with that being said here, we're going to give Benjamin Kirby Tennyson the one and only alien he really needs for this video. And in all honesty, I think it's kind of simple here. It's Alien X. The reality warping, multiverse busting, being that exists beyond 26 brand spatial dimensions. It's kind of obvious here, right? Now, again, the stuff I am saying for Ben 10 might be a little bit iffy for the outerversal stuff. Hyperversal is pretty fair here for the Ben 10 verse, or at least Hyperversal Plus. But we'll just take that extra plus and say he's in the, category for Autoversal here today. So with Celestial Sapiens, you have the fact that they exist beyond the basically beyond some levels of dimensionality for the Ben 10 verse itself here, and exist in the Forge of Creation, where all Celestial Sapiens are born. Keep in mind that Paradox explains that the universe, or at least a single universe in Ben 10, is infinite in size, all right? They have an infinite universe and infinite multiverses with infinite timelines. Now, again, are there alternate realities in the Ben 10 verse? Yes, and this was actually confirmed by Vector Prime, with Ben 10 aliens actually existing in the Transformers verse as a whole. And specifically, the Malgus universe, or the TFA universe, does contain some Ben 10, multiverse connections, or multiverse in power. So, yeah, Alien X being able to, theoretically destroy, or sorry, not destroy, or theoretically, sorry, being able to destroy these universes is pretty simple here. Keep in mind that he could wipe everything out in existence, and even Kevin, even though you could say he was exaggerating, this is actually something true here. They could wipe out anything just by blinking, or just by thinking about it. Keep in mind that Chroma Stone was able to use Alien X's, basically a component of Alien X, and this actually shows Alien X may have weapon construction as well, being able to cut through an extra dimensional barrier to stop an Annihilar and an Annihilar that was going to recreate another universe. And again, Alien X could have stopped this, but the Omnitrix chose feedback because he was an alien that was suited to actually absorb the Big Bang. Meaning, once again, Chroma Stone just kind of gets outed, which, again, makes sense. He's not a very good, not saying he's not a very good alien, but he really doesn't have the best energy absorption feats when it comes to, like, high-tier levels of energy, right? But back to Alien X, he's been able to defeat the Galactic Gladiator, who was a Celestial Sapien that had years of experience, really had years of experience over Alien X here, and they were both put in Tetraman combat, which you probably could say was hand-to-hand based, but again, this didn't stop them from using their powers and abilities, and there were no rules against this. So this means Ben's Alien X, which is known as a peak version of the species, by the way. Now, it's very possible Alien X doesn't have a peak because you can essentially say they are, I guess you'd say, not really bounded by anything except their, their conversations, or their conversations with the cosmic entities in their mind here. And so with that being said here, they can be considered nearly boundless creatures. All right. But with Alien X being able to destroy a level 4 multiverse, which consists of infinite realities, and there's actually infinite systems within Ben 10s as well, such as the Inner Transal system. Keep in mind that the Inner Transal system is basically a collision of multiple planets and dimensions put together. This even includes the dimension Inner Phaetos, which is known as an extra dimensional plane of existence, where Ghost Freak species and possibly other species in the Ben 10 verse come from. So this again means that there are many verses in the Ben 10 verse that Alien X can destroy. And keep in mind here, it's able to bind itself to a bunch of systems, a bunch of network systems together. Oh wait, my apologies, a bunch of planetary or star systems that are put together. You also have characters like, sorry, not characters, dear God, losing my train of thought here. You also have beings like the Quantumalia who exist in a dimension that is beyond 26 dimensional or 26 spatial dimensions. All right. So Alien X's, or at least the what's called Celestial Sapiens, should be beyond that because they exist beyond the dimensionality of their universe. Now again, the term for Outerversal has changed over years with, character stats and profiles being beyond what Versus Battles Wiki, the original creators of Outerversal, actually going further with the definition than they have here. So Alien X being beyond the dimensionality of his verse and existing in a multiverse that already has, infinite, cosmologies and stuff, infinite layer hierarchies, conceptual realms and stuff like that. Alien X could fit the definition of Outerversal, or at least the lower ends of it. All right, so at least the, lower ends of, Outerversal and stuff like that here. And keep in mind they've really shown that they are a part of at least the TFA universe as well, with every Transformers universe being infinite in size, containing an infinite amount of timelines, and even Vector Prime himself, a multiversal singularity, is aware of Ben 10 and the other characters that are within the verse as well. So, again, where would I tier Alien X? I would give him Outerversal, albeit it would be the low end, with Hyperversal Plus being the most consistent here. And I almost forgot, he should also be able to destroy the Novoid, which is a pan-dimensional, dimension itself here. And again, remember that he should also be able to destroy these infinite, universes as well, which are casually should scale to each other, as the cosmology of Ben 10 should scale to the other Ben 10 universes as well. So without further ado, let us go to Rayquaza. Now, I've done a lot of things with Rayquaza himself here. He's been against characters like Alduin, Nico Bolas, and so on and so forth. And I think he won both of those matches. But again, I have to update his scaling a bit here. And I know I think I did a update of, scaling for Rayquaza here. And will admit I got Ultra Space wrong as well. It's way higher than I actually thought it was, especially after going through the Sun and Moon game in its entirety. It's way beyond, I guess I'll explain it here. So Rayquaza would scale to the avatars of the Creation Trio, who are not bound by any levels of dimensionality. Now you might say, oh, well, aren't they able to, maintain the fundamentals of the multiverse? They basically are the multiverse itself. The Pokemon multiverse, or essentially Omniverse at this point, because it's infinite in size, containing infinite realities with infinite possibilities. For example, there are realities where Ash actually woke up on time and got himself a different Pokemon. So it's very possible the what ifs we see on characters like Vegito what ifs for what if what if Ash woke up on time and got himself like a Venusaur instead, are considered possible, if not timelines that are existing in the Pokemon multiverse. The games themselves are also confirmed to be alternate timelines, with the regions that you the player yourself play are considered, again, alternate timelines, with alternate rivals, with alternate people within the Pokemon verse. And again, destroying the Pokemon world itself is not any, small feat in like any way, shape, or form here. destroying the Pokemon world, which base Rayquaza could do, because again, Groudon and Kyogre were confirmed to be able to destroy the world themselves individually at their base level states before they got their primal forms, with the Pokemon world actually holding infinite realities, like I said earlier, and containing alternate dimensions. They even contain dimensional barriers as well, which is why Ultra Space is the way it is here. And we also know Rayquaza scales mainly to the avatar of Giratina more than anybody else. The avatar of Giratina would actually be the second strongest Pokemon in the entire verse here, which will put him above conceptual Pokemon like Yveltal, Xerneas, the Aurora Trio, the Light Trio, and so on and so forth. Keep in mind, in the Pokemon cosmological bracket, which you guys can see here, Rayquaza is part of Palkia's what am I trying to say here? I guess you could say Palkia's bracket here, with the Light Trio being a part of Dialga's, and the the Aurora Trio being a part of Giratina's. Rayquaza would upscale these guys, considering he is the strongest of their bracket. He will also upscale characters like Heatran and Regigigas, who have been able to literally shatter and even open portals in space and time very casually. And keep in mind, Regigigas is also able to manhandle the avatars of the Creation Trio as well. He would also scale above the Light Trio and the, Ultra Space in general. So that means Rayquaza should also be able to destroy Ultra Space, which is an entirely different multiverse that is beyond the dimensionality of the old one. So again, it's pretty ridiculous here. And keep in mind that Ultra Beasts, which are considered mythical Pokemon and are far removed from the cosmological branch of Pokemon, probably because they do need to find probably they do have a root connected to them, it's just not really found here. But they are considered regular Pokemon in Ultra Space. And keep in mind, this is again another multiverse with infinite possibilities and infinite timelines attached to it. And again, Rayquaza should be able to destroy this, as he would scale above characters like Zygarde and Necromaza, who at base absorb all the light in that entire multiverse. So keep in mind, she's absorbing like basically every amount of light in Ultra Space in general, which is again a multiverse. And Rayquaza would scale above this. Keep in mind, Rayquaza has also one-shotted entities that could come close to the levels of the Creation Trio. So, without further ado, let's really talk about this matchup in general. Now, I do like it. I really do. These are some of the GOATs of the respective universes here. Now, again, I do think I need more Ben 10 matchups on my channel. So, again, if you guys want to see them for Wave 7 of the Versus, battles and stuff, drop some down below. If you got a Ben 10 matchup you guys like to see and like for me to talk about, drop them down below. And yeah, we'll use other versions of Ben 10 as well. We use Ben 10,000. 5 years later, Ben 10, we'll definitely get some matches on this channel, as I would like to put them against some other characters here. But again, back to the GOAT himself, Alien X here. Can he take down someone as powerful or as high in cosmology as Rayquaza? And in all honesty, he has the powers, he has the capabilities. However, I just don't really see him having the, I guess you could say, the attack potency to really harm and take out someone like Rayquaza here. The reason why I say that is because Rayquaza is just on a much higher cosmology than Alien X here. Plus, he's immune to a large majority of Alien X's stuff. Reality warping, that never mattered anyway, because he's literally been able to scare beings like Hopa, who's a reality warper. Characters like Rayquaza, who's literally the god of reality itself. He literally seeds these endless voids that Arceus creates here with reality. And then his brothers give it space and time, and they can even use a little bit of his reality warping capabilities to create their own universes and create their own timelines that basically have just them in it. So again, Rayquaza would scale to this pretty handily and pretty easily. Now again, do I think Ben 10 is above some conceptual Pokemon in the verse? Yes, that should be pretty simple. That should be just, standard and basic knowledge on its own. But when it comes to the cosmology of both Ben 10 and Pokemon, Rayquaza is actually on the cosmological tier. While we know Alien X makes up a majority of the cosmology in the verse here. However, Rayquaza's cosmology is a much more expanded, a much bigger, and a much more powerful, cosmological bracket than anything. All right. You could probably say it's in the same cosmology, or at least in a similar cosmology to things like Transformers, Capcom, and you could probably even say Marvel and DC. Probably a little bit lesser than they are because they have a much more detailed and a much more I guess you say bigger cosmology, with DC obviously being bigger. However, with the introduction of origin forms, the Paldea region, and the Galar region actually giving us more to the cosmology as well, Rayquaza simply sits on a much higher bracket than Alien X here, with him still scaling above multiple other Pokemon, and it's just plain and simple, with other beings being conceptual. You do have other beings in the Ben 10 verse that are like high tier beings, like the Dagon. You have again the Contumelia, and probably other beings that exist in the Ben 10 verse here. But overall, I would give Rayquaza the win because he just has a much higher cosmology and a much higher tier than Ben 10. So that's going to be all today, you guys. Please comment down below, like and subscribe, and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. Peace.